This is the MACC Special 420Di Italian-made metal cutting bandsaw featuring a two-way swivel head with semi-automatic operation. So the process of this machine is once you have had the machine set, the vices are clamped, you press the start button, the head will come down through the material, the head will return, and the vice will stay closed, especially on this machine as it's a safety feature for material moving once the material is cut. The cutting capacity of this machine at 90 degrees is 150 millimeters full material round, 400 diameter tube, 400 millimeter square box, and 400 by 550 millimeter rectangular box. Here is the front panel of the machine. So from left to right you have the descent regulator, vice open, vice close, angle digital display, reset button, start button, coolant on button, point down memory button, press and hold up button, press and hold down button. These two buttons will have the head go up and down to find your desired position of the material, the blade with the material. The emergency stop, variable speed control, main isolator. Now this screen here is a piece counter as well as an error code reader. To move the counter vise from left to right to enable you to cut angles left and right is the kip lever on the underside of the vise, which will enable you to slide the vise across and lock off with the kip lever. To return back, you simply slide back and lock off. To enable you to move the head of the machine, you release the lever on the underside and simply push the head round in rotation. Once you've done this, it will give you the angle display on the control panel here. As you can see from this Italian designed and built machine, all of the components are strong, heavy and robust, heavy built steel pieces, machined and made in our factory in Italy. This particular area here, as you can see from this slot through to that slot, is a sacrificial plate. The reason for a sacrificial plate is you can cut the angles in between the particular desired every 15-degree slot. Once this has been cut to a point where it's made redundant, you can physically open up the 6 screws on the sacrificial plate, remove and replace, as opposed to alternative models that you see from competitors in the market, where this will be attached to the counter vise and you will have to replace from here up. You see the heavy duty vise clamps and the cylinder with guide rods to allow you to have a clear, firm clamping against the material every single time. To allow you to get closer to the material, there's a release of the kip lever and this guide arm will slide closer to the material, allowing the guide at the front entry and exit point to be as close to the material as possible. In this area here, you'll see a black gauze. When the machine is cutting, coolant will be coming from these tubes here, one at the exit side of the material and one at the entry side of the material. Once the coolant has fallen down onto the bed of the machine, it is run down into this lower area here where the swarf will be retained on the top of the gauze. The coolant will fall through into the base of the machine into a collecting tray where it's recycled using an electrical pump back up to the same tubes, supplying the machine with constant flow of coolant. So now you can close the vise of the machine. You've pressed the start button. The head will come down and return, but on this particular model, the vise will not open. At this point, you can now press the button which will open the vise.